and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, I'm Sonia and I would love it if you could subscribe, and if you're not already an existing subscriber, welcome back. So today is going to be my first update for my eyeshadow roulette. I think that's what I'm going to call it, and I have been working on 4 eyeshadow palettes for the past 4 weeks, and this is replacing my Pan That palette because I realised I actually want to be working through my eyeshadow palettes rather than focusing on just one alone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the 4 eyeshadow palettes that I've been using, and then I'm going to use wheeler names to roll me in 4 new eyeshadow palettes to use over the next 4 weeks. So the first eyeshadow palette, or should I say first palette that I rolled in first, was my Charlotte Tilbury Stone Rose Beauty face palette. So this has 3 eyeshadows in it and then some cheek products. So these were the 3 eyeshadows I used. When I say 3, I use these 2. I never reach for this one. This was a nice, you know, everyday, don't really have to think about the eyeshadow look you're doing type of palette. I think when I pulled this in I was a little bit worried because I've been a little bit underwhelmed with this palette, and I was worried that these eyeshadows weren't going to be the best of quality compared to like my Charlotte Darling palette, which is one of my favourites. But these were actually quite nice. I don't think they are as good as like the quads and the hair palettes, but I think they do a job. I think it's actually the kind of face palette aspect of this that I think isn't the best, because one of my favourite blushes as well is from Charlotte Tilbury, and I just find that these aren't as good as those. However, I didn't use the face palette side of it, I just used these eyeshadows. Yeah, I'm going to keep this in my collection. I'm going to try it more. It is a good travel palette because it has everything in it that you do need. I wanted this for so long, and I actually got it in the mystery box and I was really excited. But yeah, everyone I've also seen like review this or talk about this said that they were underwhelmed as well compared to other products that they had from Charlotte Tilbury. And I do have to agree, but it is going to be something that will stay in my collection. The next palette was a palette that I didn't get as much use on as what I would have liked. So I was only able to use this palette towards like the first half of the week. And this is the Mcgrath Creative Control eyeshadow palette. I got this in my Discovered Beauty. And for some reason, I don't know why, but I had a really high expectation for this palette. So this is what it looks like. And I only used these 4 here. And I found this palette okay. It didn't blow me away. Like I said, I don't know why I put a really high expectation on this palette. But I mean, I did only use it, I think, for 2 or 3 days that week. It wasn't a huge amount. So I don't want to completely write this off. I do want to keep it in my collection and do try it for an actual week. But yeah, from what I did try, it was an okay palette. It just wasn't anything that blew me away. But a palette that did blow me away, but I did only use this like the last half of the week because again the week after that I still had COVID, was my ABH Jackie Anna palette. This blew me away. It really, really did. I actually used these purples here, which I'm using this as an opportunity to push myself out of my comfort zone when I'm picking these different palettes, because I would have never usually reached for them purples, but it definitely was a look that was out of my comfort zone, but it was a nice look and they actually worked really well. This was a little bit patchy, but once you blended it out it looked okay. But then I did gravitate towards my more comfort zone, I guess, colours, which was these ones. I actually reached for this as well. I'm wearing that today as well, and it's a really, really beautiful colour. And I wore this one as well. I really wanted to wear this one, but I just didn't get around to trying it. But I mean, this is obviously staying in my collection. It blended beautifully. I'm really, really, really looking forward to trying my other ABH palettes. This isn't the colour story that I usually go for, but I did really, really enjoy this one. And then last but no means least, I have my e.l.f. Bite Size Quad in Berry Bad. Now, again, this was another palette where I was thinking, oh, I don't know if I'm going to keep it after this, because I had the cookies and cream version of this and wasn't a massive fan of it. I thought it was quite chunky. This is what the shades look like in it. And I actually really did enjoy this palette. So I think it just goes to show that if you don't like one like one of the palettes in that range, try another one, because I actually really like this one. I don't have the same experience with this that I did the cookies and cream one. I'm not gonna lie though, I did only use these two shades. I wanted to use this one, but I just didn't, so I only used these two, but it was a beautiful look. Something I'm definitely going to keep in my collection. In the future, I'd actually be interested in looking at some more of these quads. Okay, so there were the first 4 eyeshadow palettes that I have been working on over the last month. So now what we're going to do is going to roll in 4 new eyeshadow palettes for the next month, and then once I've rolled them in, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and get them and I will show you on here. Okay, so I have my wheel of names here with all of my eyeshadow palettes, and I have 79 to choose from. So what I will do once I roll them is I will remove them from this wheel, because I don't want to choose them again until I've chosen all the ones on here, and then once I've done that, which will be quite a few months from now, quite a few, I will then just put all my eyeshadows back in and we'll start again. So the first palette I will be using is the Too Faced Born This Way Natural Nudes. Ooh, so this is a new palette. I got that for myself for my advent calendar this Christmas just gone. The next one is, right, okay. I don't know why that is still in there. I think I might have accidentally not saved this, so I'm actually going to remove that because I've just used that one. So the second one is the Spoiled Cosmetics Day Trip. I'm trying to think what that palette looks like. I think that's a travel palette, which might not be too bad actually, because I'm going to be travelling that week, so that might actually be quite good. So I'm going to remove that. The third one is the Mcgrath Subversive. I don't know whether that's the neutral one or that's the colourful one, so we will see. Okay, and then last but no means least, the 4th eyeshadow palette I will be using is the Natashas Star palette. Okay, so those are the 4 eyeshadow palettes I'll be working on over the next month. I'm going to go and get them now and I will be right back. Okay, so I'm back and I have my eyeshadow palettes to talk through with you. So the first one that I rolled and the one I'll be using this week is my Too Faced Born This Way Natural Nudes. I think I've used this palette once. Yeah, I definitely used it once. This is such a beautiful colour story, very neutral, which I mean is my go-to anyway. But I have my pinks, I have my neutral colours, I have everything that I could want in this palette. And the great thing about this palette is it has a matte and a shimmer for each of the colours. I'm definitely looking forward to getting some more use out of this. The next one is the Spoiled Cosmetics Day Trip. So this is what this one looks like. So this is in, I think this is meant to be a travel palette because it's got quite a sturdy packaging. Quite a neutral palette. Definitely more warm toned, but I mean I don't mind. And I think what I might do is when I go for the weekend I might just actually take these 2 because I've got a bit of variety then. But yeah, I'm happy with this. I haven't even used this one yet, so I'm curious to see what the formula is like. I got this in my Trab beauty box. The next one is my mini little Mcgrath palette in Subversive, and this is the colourful one. So this is what this one looks like. So I'm definitely going to maybe have to use another one of these palettes, you know, just for a crease shade, because all of these are shimmers. I mean, I've nearly got rid of this quite a few times because I don't really use a lot of like colour like this, but I mean, we're in spring. I will definitely use this. I just don't know how much use I will get on it. I want to try and at least use these 3 here. I don't really go for darker shades in palettes unless I'm putting it in the outer corner, which is very, very rare. So yeah, as long as I think I use these 3, I will be happy. And then last but no means least, the palette I will be using for the last week is the Natashas Mini Star palette. So I have used this one before, but this is such a beautiful, beautiful palette. I'm really, really looking forward to using this again. I think I've only used it once, maybe twice anyway, so it's not like I've used it a bunch, but these again are perfect for traveling. I'm actually really happy with all the palettes I've got because I am going to be traveling quite a bit at the end of April and in May, so I'm really happy with all the little mini travel palettes that I have that has been randomly chosen for me. So that is my first update. Like I said, I think that's what I'm going to call them for my eyeshadow roulette. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and it means the absolute world to me if you could subscribe if you don't already. And I would love to know below your thoughts and opinions on all of the eyeshadow palettes that I featured in today's video. And until my next video, thank you for coming by. See you later.